Everybody, and welcome to an impromptu Periscope on a Saturday morning. So for those of you who happen to be around, I've been trying to sort of get a time to talk to you about the deal, so-called deal, that was done at Chequers yesterday regarding the government's Brexit plan. And this is the moment, folks. I've got most of the information, as I'm sure you may well have seen it. Oh, hi, British Bully Bee, and hi to Pete from Holland, and hi to everybody. We're just going to have a quick chat on this one because, in a way, this is really, really straightforward. And I guess my feelings this morning probably reflect what a lot of you think. A combination of feeling sick about it, feeling betrayed about it, feeling angry about it. It's a combination of all of those things. And as the sun shines down on me, hang on, I don't want you to sort of say, did you notice that I was bathed in like a halo? Yeah, why might that be? Thanks for those that are joining. I can see your numbers rocketing up. Thanks for the hearts. Hi, Shrimpy. If you want to send me hearts, great. If you want to send me super hearts because you really approve, fine. If you want to disagree, fine. It's all yours. Also, two other things you need to do. Work your digits. Send the hearts as frequently as possible. Keep an eye out for trolls because they will appear. Oh, hello again to all of those who I can see joining into the Periscope. If there's a troll, type the name of the troll in caps, and that's a good chance. And that way I probably will see it. Excuse me. Right. So, what do you think then? Good deal or an absolute betrayal? What do you think? Yeah, I think we know what the answer to that one is, don't we? I'm not sure that we should be really surprised. So thanks, Shrimpy, for your super heart as well. Can we really be surprised at the fact that whenever David Cameron fell in 2016 because he didn't get the Remain vote, sorry, Andrew's asking me, can Her Majesty stop this? No, this is unstoppable, and except in one circumstance, and I'll tell you what that is in a moment. Back when Cameron fell, they levered in May with great alacrity. And the reason that Theresa May became the Prime Minister was because she would deliver that which Cameron had failed to deliver, and that is, namely, keeping us locked in the EU. And that's what's happened basically here, folks. I mean, I think I put up a brief summary for you, but in terms of the 12 principles of Brexit, let's just boil it down to the 3 principles of Theresa May's Brexit. And it's really simple. She's now got a common rule book for industrial and agricultural products. The common rules book is more accurately known as the single market. The UK is essentially fully aligned with the EU with regard to these areas. What that means is, if we wanted to do, let's say, a free trade deal with the US or anywhere else, and no standards deviated. Oh, someone said there's a troll about. Please type the name of the troll so I know. What that means is that we can't basically do trade deals because we will essentially then vary from the common rule book, and variance from the common rule book would, according to Mrs May's document, carry consequences for the UK. In other words, we can never leave. This is Hotel California moment, folks. Check in, but you can't leave. And the common rule book is the single market. Don't listen to what anyone else tries to tell you. Don't listen to the video that they've put out. Don't listen to the spin. The common rule book equals single market. You really need to understand that. Then let's talk about another exciting development that was agreed yesterday, and that is the combined customs territory. That the combined customs territory of the UK and the EU equals the customs union. That's right, yeah. The customs union has been rebundled, renamed the combined customs territory, and we're locked in it. So that's the second thing. And this is probably the most annoying of all, actually, in a way. You will recall that most of us voted for Brexit to get control of our borders, to limit immigration, to try, if you like, and stop the tsunami coming from the EU. Well, Mrs May has removed freedom of movement. Hooray! And she's replaced it with freedom of workers. Freedom of workers means that UK and EU workers or those from the EU who indicate that they may want to work or may come here to study, they can come, no problems. Got that? So freedom of movement, 100% still there. So she's basically euphemistically renamed everything that's in that's the current arrangement. This is Remain. This is no longer about, a Brexit, a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit. This is now about a hard Remain or a soft Remain. Hang on. Villa Boy, what's it got to do with you, Paddy? Is that really the best you can do, Villa Boy? Go and knock yourself out and get off my Periscope. So that's the way this one's working. Basically, those wise old coves in Whitehall have come up with new names for the existing structures, and those new names will be remorselessly sold as the exciting, brave new future of Brexit. All absolute crap. And yes, I see some of you are saying all the correct things. The trick here is that they give this plan a name like a Patriot Plan or a Freedom Plan, and they expect us to swallow this kind of guff. Now, it kind of gets worse because, first of all, Boris Johnson, Michael Gove, Andrea Leadsom, Liam Fox, David Davis, they've all signed up to this. They have all betrayed Brexit. Oh, hang on a second. Villa Boy, I sound like an angry Paddy. An angry Paddy. You sound, Villa Boy, like an imbecile troll. And imbecilic trolls don't get to talk to me. Not on my Periscope. Bye-bye, loser. Davis and the rest of them have all gone along. Why have they done that? I've seen Andrea Leadsom tweeting earlier on, what a fantastic day this is. I mean, is she mad? This is a woman who would walk into a gulag whistling about how her freedom has never been greater. Someone says to me, are you Leave or Remain? I voted to get out of the EU. Getting out of the EU means leaving the customs union, leaving the single market, stopping immigration from the EU, and the deal that Theresa May has agreed simply renames all those things and they will continue. We are now captives to the EU. Karen asks me, do you think there will be a leadership challenge? I don't know, because let's move the conversation on. Where does this one now move to? The cabinet have betrayed us. Let's be clear. Theresa May has surrendered to the EU, and the Brexiteers in the cabinet have surrendered to Theresa May. That makes them even worse than Theresa May, in my view. Someone's talking about a peasant's revolt. I kind of think that's what we need. The last hope, this is our last hope. It's that Jacob Rees-Mogg and people like Andrea Jenkinson and others will have sufficient numbers to rebel against May and force some sort of leadership reaction. Do I think that will happen? I don't know. Maybe it will. Let's wait and see what they have to say. So far, they've been conspicuously quiet, and that worries me. If they were really annoyed about it, surely they would come out and just call it like it is. So we've seen the Brexiteers in the cabinet. They turned out to be snowmen, vanishing at the first bit of heat coming from Theresa May. Hi, James. Hi, all of those who have joined. I see the numbers are really good. They've all vanished. Will the backbenchers vanish in the same way? Someone said, how do we stop this? I think the only way to stop this essentially is to bring this government down. Now, that can be done by the backbenchers, forcing a leadership election. The DUP won't bring them down, folks. That's not going to happen because this deal doesn't do anything to annoy the DUP in particular. Yes, it's the softest of Brexits, but they'll not be unhappy with that. They just didn't want to have Northern Ireland treated differently to the rest of the UK. Well, they've got their wish. The whole of the UK is being treated abominably. That's what's happening here. It's really, really simple. And then, of course, you're going to have a concerted propaganda campaign over the next 48 hours. You'll see it tomorrow morning on Sunday Politics when they all troop into the TV studios to genuflect and say what a great deal this is, that we are leaving the single market, that we are leaving the customs union, that we are taking back control of our borders. And we're doing none of those. You've got to understand that. What she has specified, it's in the agreement, is just simply renaming things and in many regards making them worse. Because once we will now follow EU regulations without any say in those EU regulations. It's all very well for Theresa May to say, oh, Parliament can monitor and could potentially vary them. But you cannot parallel and at the same time vary. So no, this is bullshit from Theresa May about Parliament taking back control. The EU, folks, has taken back control of the United Kingdom. That's what's happened. Now, I see all of you saying, vote UKIP, vote for Britain, vote for whatever. I've got to be honest with you folks here, and this might sound harsh, but we have, in this country, a first past the post voting system. What that does is it essentially means that the two big parties, the Conservatives and Labour, will dominate. So, vote for your small parties, but you can't change it. You won't be able to change things. What you can do, of course, is you can choose not to vote. You can tender your resignation. You can do those things. And all of us in UKIP and in For Britain and in other groups, we can all come together, if you like, in a joined-up peasants' revolt. I would favour that, because I know many of us feel the same. And I see what you're saying. We do need to smash the system. We do need to. And that's not going to happen from within. We have to be asymmetric about this. We have to understand that we can't win if we play by the conventional rules. The conventional rules are you vote Tory, you vote Labour, and you live with the consequences. Either of them is disaster for us. We've seen this. We have been betrayed by a Conservative government. We will also be absolutely betrayed by a Labour government. Theresa May and those spineless quislings around the cabinet table are taking the calculated gamble that, OK, you mightn't like what you're getting, but, hey, you're not going to vote for Corbyn. Well, of course, they're right. People won't vote for Corbyn. But maybe, just maybe, they won't vote at all. And that's what must worry them. And that's what we have to kind of organise some sort of mass boycott of the Conservative Party. And that can only be done by Conservative-minded people coming together and fighting our corner. And, oh, hang on, someone calling themselves smelly comes onto my timeline to call me an old man. Well, maybe I am an old man. But I'll tell you what, troll, I've got more about me than you'll ever have. Now back to your bedroom and do whatever you've been doing in there. Moving on. Back to May. So all I would hope is, and I've seen this on social media anyway in the past, 12, 24 hours, masses of Conservatives saying that they're disgusted and they won't vote Conservative anymore. And that's good. Sorry, if there's another troll, please type their names in caps and then I can watch out for them. For Britain and UKIP and the Democrats and Veterans Party and all these other small parties, in my view, need to join up. That's what needs to happen. Individually, honestly, none of them will do anything. I hear all that they're fine words. I agree with much of what they say. They don't have the power. We live in a first-past-the-post reality. So, that's how it is. But if you are of a mind that feels that you've been betrayed, then we do need to act. And yes, I agree with Harry there. There are far too many small parties trying to get the same thing. Why don't they come together? Some come together in a coalition, a pro-Brexit coalition. That could include everybody. Form a leadership and actually really let's get the message out there. And this is where media comes into it as well. Mark my words, the mainstream media, the BBC, are absolutely going to spin this as Theresa May has won fantastic concessions from the EU. We've got the best possible Brexit. And they'll spin it that way. That's to help Theresa May. It's also to betray you. Don't trust the mainstream media. That's the other thing. So, the biggest vote in British history, the 17.4 million in favour of Brexit, has just been sold out. That's the truth. I wish I could tell you something different. I wish I could believe something different. I don't. I'm absolutely crystal clear on what's happened. They've been sold out because the Conservative leadership never wanted to leave the European Union. Now people are saying the only hope is if the EU turn around and say no. They won't. They won't. Theresa May and her cohorts travelled to Berlin to meet with Angela Merkel to make sure that Angela Merkel was broadly on board with the kind of principles before she even spoke to her cabinet. That's why the real leadership of the UK is found in Germany. Germany rules us. It had to be acceptable to Angela Merkel. Now, what will happen with Barnier and the rest of them is they'll huff and puff a bit, but they will broadly, in the round, welcome it. And then they'll probably throw a few barbed wires in there to make it even weaker. So this is the softest of the softest Brexit. The CBI have come out and welcomed it. All the Remainers in the Conservative Party have welcomed it. Those quisling Brexiteers around the cabinet have welcomed it. I want to see what those so-called Brexiteers on the backbenches are going to do about it. Let's hear from Jacob Rees-Mogg, that most erudite of Conservatives. So, as I say, that is my view. It is a clear and absolute betrayal of Brexit. Totally. Someone said, oh, sorry, Welshman, that must be Periscope. Barring you from my Periscope. I don't bar people. Someone says, are they quislings or just hoodwinked? They're quislings. They're quislings. And I think they've been quislings for about 2 years. That's the reality. They are not true Brexiteers. So I think Andrea Jenkins, well, as I say, I want to hear what those true blues on the Conservative benches say. But what Jacob Rees-Mogg can do and what the others could do is if they get, I think it's 48 votes they have to get to trigger a leadership challenge. Do it. Challenge May. Take May down. Take down this cabinet. This is the only way of doing it. This is the only way that it can actually be stopped from within. I don't approve of violence in any regard. So I don't approve of a violent uprising against this government. No matter how angry you are, violence is never the way. But that doesn't mean we have to sit back and take the crap. So, as I say, we need to reach out to those on the Conservative benches who feel like us. We need to reach across the political sphere into Anne-Marie Waters' party, into Gerard Batten's party, into other significant influencers on social media. All of us, we are many, and we are united, and we need to come together in this grand coalition. But listen, don't think for one moment that UKIP will now save Brexit. Don't think for Britain will do it. Don't think veterans and Democrats will. They won't. They absolutely won't. Too small, too isolated. Come together, to quote the Beatles. We need to come together. Right, I'm going to start singing right now. And, as for Rees-Mogg for PM, I'm not so sure about that. We need to see what he has to say about it. But from what you're telling me, Andrea Jenkins has come out and said she will vote against it. But what we need to see is a coordinated Conservative vote against it. Anna Soubry has won. There you go. That's the reality about it. Anna Soubry has won. All those horrendous people who have shown no... I would like to see this government brought down. People say, but that would be awful because Jeremy Corbyn, will cause all kinds of problems for the country. Theresa May is letting our country be run from Brussels and Berlin. Someone says Jacob Rees-Mogg doesn't have the backbone for PM. Yeah, I'm not sure about Jacob. He has to speak in this one. Andrea Jenkins, I'm very impressed with. She seems an honourable lady, which is good. But as I say, we need a revolt in some way, folks. We need to have an organisation for Brexit. So forget about, I'm sorry to say this, for Britain. Forget about UKIP. Forget about the small parties. Let's have a grand coalition, a grand pro-Brexit coalition. And you know, if we don't stand together, folks, we will fall apart. That's the truth of the matter. That's what they're banking on. Sorry, keep hitting the hearts button, by the way. Keep going as I keep going. So Graham's saying there will be MPs on both sides who vote against in a free vote. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that the likes of Kate Hoey, for example, and a few others on Labour benches will vote against this. But we absolutely need to have an opposition in Parliament, and we need an organised people's revolt outside. And that means bringing together all the small political parties, all the groups. That's what I believe. I think if Nigel Farage comes back, good. Nigel will add to the gaiety of it. But, someone's telling me Frank Field said he liked the plan. Yeah, that's really disappointing, isn't it? But this is the thing. I mean, someone said to me, I bet you're disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I do not put my faith in politicians. The only kind of politician I have any faith in is Donald Trump, and he's not really a politician. He doesn't do things on the calculated basis that politicians do things, and that's what we need to understand. So I favour, as I say, a grand coalition pro-Brexit. I think we should be reaching out and supporting people like Andrea Jenkins. If Jacob Rees-Mogg and others show a bit of leadership, that'll be great. Their moment is now, Jacob. You can't dither in this one. You need to come out and tell the British people, do you stand with the 17.4 million? Or do you stand with the quizzlings around the cabinet table? Because that's the choice. That's the way it is. Theresa May is appalling. Theresa May is useless. But so are those spineless politicians around that cabinet table who agreed to this complete betrayal of Brexit. Someone's calling me gammon. All right. It's fun. Oh, sorry. I think I've just hope I haven't accidentally banned the wrong person. I'll go and check to see. All right. Hang on. Hang on. Just give me a second here. Yep. Done. Sorry, I accidentally blocked one of my more fervent followers. So apologies for that. So there we go, folks. That's it for this Saturday morning. I know we're all getting ready for the England game. And oh gosh, isn't it a coincidence that Brexit is betrayed 12 hours before the England play? Almost as if a calculating Politburo in Chequers said, let's distract the plebs with a football match that they'll all watch. And then they'll all celebrate, hopefully, an England victory. And then in 48 hours, they'll have forgotten about the betrayal. You know, I wonder, might that have been a consideration? No, they would never be that cynical, would they? Yeah, they really, really would. So, I don't know if I'm being called gammon or not, but I don't really care what imbeciles call me. That's it from me, folks, for today. I know some of you did ask me, would I come on and talk about the deal? So that's the deal, folks. So just to finish on, the common rule book equals the single market. The combined customs territory is the customs union. And freedom of workers replaces freedom of movement. Hope you love being in the EU, folks, because you're not going to get out of it. Not unless we join together. Someone saying, James saying, what about the little boy in Thailand? Yeah, the media's really running with that one, isn't it? That's the lead story. More interesting than the absolute betrayal of the biggest vote in the history of this United Kingdom. Welcome to the political sphere. Anyway, folks, I've got things to do. I'm sure you have as well. Best of luck to England. That said, later on, really hope they can win and get through to the World Cup semi-finals. So I'll be rooting for England. And thank you for all of your hearts and your time listening to me this morning. Everyone, have a great day. Cheers.